Hello and welcome back to How to RP in WoW. I am, as always, Inquisitor Laura, and today we will be taking a look at the Orcs. Please note that these are just guidelines to socially acceptable RP in World of Warcraft. There is pretty much a niche for every type and style of RP. What I'm putting out here are the generally accepted guidelines that will not get you ridiculed. The first thing it is important for Orc players to understand is that Orcs have humanish lifespans between 85 and 100 years, but they do not grow more frail as they age. It is also important for you to understand that the years of the Warcraft timeline are very important to Orcs because they dictate where you may have been and at what age you were there. Almost all player character Orcs were born on Draenor. According to the Warlords of Draenor trailer, Grom would have taken the blood of Manaroth 35 years ago. 35 years ago was before the First War. Now, if you survived the First War and fought in the First War, you are, as of right now, at least 55 years of age. This is assuming that you were 20, the age of Omragor, the ritual of adulthood, when Grom drank the blood. The Second War took place 6 years after the First War, so any Orcs reaching adulthood in those 6 years would have participated. Also, anyone between the ages of 11 and 19 before either of these wars took place was likely magically aged by warlocks to adulthood to join the Horde war machine. The next big thing everybody has to remember about Orcs is that for 25,000 years, your people lived peacefully with the Draenor. Remember that it was Gul'dan's influence, Gul'dan, of course, being influenced by Kil'jaeden at this point in time, that destroyed that peace as he convinced the Orcish clans that the Draenor were going to attack and wipe the Orcs out. And it is possible that your ancestors may have told stories of Draenor who are still alive. There are also fixed times in history that you could have crossed to Azeroth, and they all revolve around the Dark Portal. Those times were when the portal was opened during the First War, between 30 and 35 years ago, when the portal was opened during the Second War, between 27 and 29 years ago, any time after the beginning of the Burning Crusades, and before the end of Mists of Pandaria, and anyone coming from the alternate Draenor during the Iron March's invasion, but before we collapsed the Dark Portal on Draenor's side. Now it's time to cover some who you are's and some who you are not. For instance, first off, you can be Magar. Some Orcs did not leave Draenor during the First or the Second War, and they did have children after all of that took place. So it is entirely possible that you are a brown-skin Orc who came through the Dark Portal during the Burning Crusade. You are not a member of an Orcish clan. Now, if you participated in the wars and got stranded on Azeroth, you have accepted the clanless new Horde. That is the status quo of the Horde as it is right now. However, it is encouraged that if this is the case that you identify with one, as it will help other Orc players figure out how best to deal with you. That being said, if you are coming from the alternate Draenor and you have joined the Horde, you have abandoned your clan and you are not a member of them any longer. That being said, you are also not a member of the Iron Horde. The Iron Horde are our enemies. No, you are not a spy for them because ultimately it doesn't make a difference. You will not be able to work with them. There are Orc warlocks, but most Orcs frown on fel magic, and very many of them outright hate it. Think of how it might have affected you. If you fought in the First and Second Wars, you now have green skin. You remember the unnatural bloodlust, and you were stranded on Azeroth because of Gul'dan and his fel magic. If you are a Magar or an alternate timeline Orc, look and listen at the non-warlords Orcs around you and think about how that was almost you. if you had been old enough, or if Grom had actually drank the blood in the alternate timeline, you would be where these people are now. And that should help you understand why fell magic is so frowned upon by the orcs. Orcs are not stupid, except for the peons. Obviously the peons are stupid, but why would you want to RP a peon? Orcs are very clever, they are very cunning, they are warriors, they know tactics, they understand how a fight is supposed to work. So unless you're RPing a peon, which frankly I don't know why you would, you were smart. And it is okay to show that. You are not magically rage-fueled anymore. When Manaroth died at the hand of Grom Hellscream, it freed you from your unnatural bloodlust. You still possess a blood rage, but that was the blood rage that you were gifted with at birth. Unless you were socially, psychologically unstable, you do not go flying off into immediate rampages of unstoppable rage. That just doesn't happen anymore. If you have a surname, chances are you earned it or you inherited it, but that will not always be the case. Surnames, for the most part, in Orcish society are not given to you until you earn them. They are not like human surnames. You do not immediately inherit them. You simply do not have one until you earn it. And also, throughout the span of an orc's life, your surname may change depending on things that have happened to you or things that you have done. And some orcs did manage to elude internment, but you have to have a good story to back that up. For instance, the Frostwolves made it in the mountains of Alterac Valley and established small holdings there. So it is possible for other clans to have made it farther south than Alterac Valley. Just make sure that your story is believable. Orcs have a very rich history. They have a lot of culture. You just have to feel free to go and do some exploring. Remember, orcs are not stupid. They are extraordinarily intelligent. That is why, along with the magically induced bloodlust, they were so dangerous during the First and Second Wars. You also have to remember that orcs have a very hard time trusting the other races. Let's face it, the Forsaken aren't exactly the nicest people on the planet, and neither are the Blood Elves. But that's fine. So if you're playing an orc, you're gonna have a natural desire to be around your own people. That is ultimately the heart of everything that happened in Mists of Pandaria with Garrosh. He wanted Orgrimmar for the orcs. That's just the way it is. That is part of your cultural orcish identity. I'm not saying that all orcs are like this, but you're going to run into a fair number of them who are. And you have to just remember to not take it personally, because it's not a personal thing. It is an orc thing. Well, that is it for RPing Orcs. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to comment and like below, and don't forget to subscribe. You can also find me in social media out there around at the Angry Healers blog and the Dalaran Academy podcast, a member of the D20 Catalyst Network. Links are listed in the description below. Until next time, keep cool, and we'll see you in the World of Warcraft.